Isang magandang araw na naman po sa inyong lahat. Welcome po sa Woman Up. Kasama po natin si Miss Suzy Rojas. Hi, Suzy.
Hi, everybody. Magandang araw po. Woman Up.
Woman Up. Kamusta naman ang inyong quarantine days?
Medyo stressful siya. Alam kong darating na yung lifting ng ECQ at magiging GCQ daw. So, mas makakalabas na pagkatapos makakapag-coffee na sa labas. Pero iba pa rin ang pakiramdam. Kaya naitanong ko sa mga kagrupo ko, kaibigan ko, at yung mga kaibigan ko na nagtatrabaho rin sa ibang institusyon at iba-ibang trabaho. At mukhang parehas rin ang feeling nila na okay, masaya, pero may konting
fear.
Na hindi nila ma-explain. Oo. Kaya sabi ko, hindi lang pala ako ang nagdaramdam ng ganito, kung kaya yung iba rin. Ikaw, paano?
Actually, I can totally relate. It's funny na you mentioned that kasi I was feeling din na parang, well, kasi I can see posts like from my friends saying, pag natapos na to, I can't wait kasi lalabas ako. But ako parang, I have this parang cold feeling na parang anxious ka, worried ka about what will happen. Kasi parang, for me at least, I can't speak for everyone else, but for me kasi I know that things will not be the same anymore. There are going to be changes.
I'm glad you mentioned that because when I heard about that, I thought first it was myself, right? And I asked everybody, no, it's them. And then you say the same thing. So I decided, wait a minute, what can be the reason for this? So I looked around and and I realized the fear is normal, especially after something great, big has changed. And I think that's what the ECQ is and the COVID pandemic is, right? It's an abrupt change. Parang meron talagang nag-iba. And even if nagsasabi tayo, nakikita mo sa media, the new normal, wala sa lahat ng mababasa mo, o sa lahat ng post, at kung sino-sino man ang nakausap mo, kaya siya, doktor siya, real estate agent, restaurateur, businessman, BPO worker, politician, religious leader, lahat sila nagsasabing, oo, new normal. Pero lahat sila, iba't iba ang pananaw sa new normal. At yung new normal na pag-define nila, hindi nila masabi kung ano mismo ang mangyayari. Nung nasabi nila yan sa akin, sabi ko, yan pala yung feeling ko rin. Na yes, alam kong magbabago.
Yes.
Pero ano ang hugis ng pagbabago, yan ang hindi ko makita or matiyak.
But is it really necessary for us to really anticipate? Baka mamaya mag-overthink tayo if we really, kasi di ba parang, ano ba yung sabi nila, like sometimes we have to let go of things that we cannot control.
I agree with you. The challenge though is that you cannot help but think of what's going to happen next.
That's true.
Why?
Ako din, it's always like fear.
Because it hit us in the most important part of our lives. We might not have jobs. The income might not be stable. Our families are devastated. Our future in terms of career is impacted. The children might not be able to go to school. The health insurances may not take COVID-19 as part of coverage. And so, all of those elements talk about safety. And safety is a basic concern and a basic dream and need. Need for safety and security is a basic human need. So no matter how much we tell ourselves, oh, God will provide, oh, I still have food on the table now, oh, my house is still there, you cannot but think what's going to happen to me because the future is not as certain as we saw it when we planned it in December.
That is so true. Kahit tayong dalawa, may mga plano pa tayo, diba, dapat before COVID? Diba?
Ah.
Hindi na tayo naka-coffee.
In fact, the joke now is the most useless thing you did was to collect Starbucks stickers last year because of
Oh, diba?
Starbucks. The Starbucks thing is no use, right? Oh my goodness.
Hindi mo naman pwede siya i-convert into coffee. But you know, it also made me think, you know, it's like, sayang, hindi tayo natuloy mag-coffee, di ba? So parang it makes you think that when this gets lifted, maybe we should be more aware and more parang have parang the people that you want to see, you know, make an effort. So for you, yung feeling na to, it's kind of like in a way, parang people are also still sad about what happened before COVID na hindi natuloy. And in a way, parang grieving for the past, yung mga tao. Do you think that's how it is?
You're right. That's how it is. Now, the function of, or the decision of what has been lost is different from person to person. So, the losses of things will be different for the losses will be different for everyone, dependent on how much they value that. So job loss for a foreman would probably not be the same as client lost by a big time doctor. And on top of the losses being different from one person to the other, the manifestation or how the loss or how the anxiety shows up for different people is also different. Some will have bodily reactions, being tired, having painful bones. Some will will be imagining things that can happen. Oh, by next month it looks like I'm going to be eating sardines and not the meat that I'm used to eating. Some will manifest as a sleeplessness, and some as bad mood, and some as erratic behavior, and some as fighting, and some as sniping and arguing with each other. Different behaviors, because of different personalities, uniqueness of the situation, and different losses at the same time. And the sense of whether or not they feel that they can recoup or make up for the losses that they are going to take for the next few months.
How do we cope with that?
Coping will be different for each and every one. And because this is different, people will tend to say, hanggang na yun? Yan parang iiyak mo. Judgment. Sus, pera lang yan. Yung isa, nawala sa kanya, yung kanyang business. Other people will say, sweldo lang ng asawa mo, pero at least nandun pa yung asawa mo sa tabi mo. Other people will say, o di na-COVID ka, pero naman yung insurance naman ang nag-cover naman sa'yo, no? So, o di okay ka na, dapat hindi ka na nag-grieve. So there is a reaction. It's an automatic reaction of comparison, an automatic reaction of I'm better off than you. And so to understand that it is happening, that comparison is happening, the awareness of that comparison is happening, also helps create solutions. So one solution is, I understand I am comparing. Instead of comparing, I will look for ways I can help you. Second is, instead of future fear, it is closing your eyes and saying to yourself and saying to your mind, what 5 things did I find on the table right now? And going through that. Third is understanding and seeing your reactions and emotions running. So it's fear on top of anxiety, on top of sadness, on top of anger, on top of uncertainty, agitation, irritation, and hopelessness. instead of taking all those characteristics at the same time, it is to identify each of the characteristics, name them, think about them, feel them, and then let them go. Because these emotions will help you decide what is important in your life, what is important to work on, and what next steps you can do.
Can you please repeat the 5 steps? Because I'm taking notes. Then I'm really, this episode of yours is really helping, not only our viewers but also me. So
Thank you.
can you repeat those 5 things?
They aren't steps. They
The
are
5, yeah.
different ways. Okay, so first is being instead of looking into the future. Oh my God, my business is going to die, and I am going to eat tuyo my whole life, and I will not be able to afford the rent I am going to be in, so I'm going to be in the street. So panic, right? Panic does not solve anything. It's an energy that rotates onto itself. So step back and use a meditation game. For example, close your eyes and then think, what are the 5 things right now on my table? Simple as that. Because it keeps your mind to the present. Another one is because your automatic response is to compare and to tear down, then the next movement can be, and what can I do for you? And how can I help you?
Oh, that's nice. That's really nice. And what can I do for you?
And how can I help you? Third is not, that's the not to judge. The other one is to understand that it is only happening now. It does not create into the future. And so to balance it's called balanced thinking. Balanced thinking is, yes, it's a hard time now. However, there is also food on the table. There are also gifts that I can get. There are also things that I can do. So those 3 are top of mind what I can think of.
I want to share something kasi yung sinabi na how can I help you? I saw this post na yung one of our seafarers' wives sa CF Sharp, si Mrs. Loretta Perlas and her husband, they were giving away food packs.
How nice of them.
It is kasi knowing at this time when actually many people are parang nagdi-discriminate against mga OFWs and mga seafarers. And to see them still doing that despite of all the uncertainties, despite of all the things that's happening that are so negative now, and they can still have it in themselves to think of other people, I think that's really beautiful.
The studies will show you that giving and receiving, regardless of environment, regardless of the disparity in environment, whether it's a poor family or a rich family, both of them, when they give and when they receive, always increase in happiness. So whether it is a $5 amount that I give to a person in Makati, or a $5 amount I give to a person in Talipapa, the level of happiness I will feel and the level of happiness that these 2 people feel on the same $5 is the same.
That's true.
Because of having received.
So, Susie, do you have any messages for our co-quarantiners?
So when
quarantiners,
co-quarantiners, how cute! I never heard of that. Never heard that.
I just made it up now.
I think that's what we should call them, co-quarantiners.
Co-quarantiners.
And so, when you go out into your lives again on the 15th, I know it's going to be different. And I know you're going to feel different. And the anticipation of what it's going to be like, that you don't know how long it will be okay, before how long before the next quarantine or the COVID thing is solved, and you don't know exactly what the terms of the new normal are. If you stayed and played within your strength and within the resources you already have a leg up in the game. It is easy to let your imagination run away from you and feel stressed, yet hold the stress in and unconsciously hold the stress in and let it out on people who cannot fight you back, or who cannot or who will not fight you back, and you're doing that to them because you can, because they're weaker in some way. That kind of action, that aggression, will never help you. That aggression will always create more aggression within you anyway. So pushing that energy out that way is not going to help you. The way to do it is to accept that these are the feelings you have for the moment, and they are this way because of the situation, and because the situation is not an all or nothing game, that it has not taken away your strengths and resources, you can still play in terms of your strengths and resources. And in playing within your strengths and resources, being honest with yourself, being truthful to what you feel, and being able to manage your emotion, and because you understand your emotions, will help you survive through this crisis.
Thank you so much, Susie, for another really nice episode with you.
Anytime.
I really appreciate all your sharing your knowledge with us. Thank you so much. So, ladies, see you again in our next episode. Woman up!
Woman up! Thank you, everybody.